In the 90s, we were huge Garth Brooks fans. My mom and I saw him in Knoxville and Memphis, Tennessee. We also saw a special show at Dollywood, just him acoustically. Amazing. And we had front row center seats one time at the Kentucky State Fair. If you're a fan of Garth Brooks, you also know his hometown is Yukon, Oklahoma. Yukon is located on Route 66. So, of course, we had to do a little run through specifically to find the water tower that is located there that has hometown of Garth Brooks on it. The way we came in, it was sort of hard to see, and it is on private property. I think your best vantage point is from the interstate. And certainly they have a road that is named after him, Garth Brooks Boulevard. Our first stop after the water tower was the Yukon's Best Railroad Museum. Now, it was closed while we were there, and it looks like it is only open per appointment. This is located straight across the street from the Yukon's Best Flour Mill building. Do you notice that sign on top of the building? It's neon, y'all. Now, we wouldn't get to be there at night, but I've seen pictures of it, and it is a beautiful neon sign. In the 1930s, this mill became the largest flour plant in the state and in the Southwest. They could produce over 2,000 barrels of flour per day and ended up exporting Yukon's best flour to every state in the U.S. and some places abroad. One of the owners of the Yukon's Best Flours was A.F. Dobry. In 1933, the Dobry family sold out and founded the Dobry Flour Mill right across the street. Now, I'm not sure if this is the exact building or not, but it makes sense that it would be. Of course, we had to drive around downtown just a bit. Don't downtowns just call for you to drive, look around, explore? If you've not really done that, you should. Give it a try. Now, if I'm driving, you can bet we're driving through, and most of the time, whoever I'm with is happy to oblige. For me, a downtown gives you a quick sense of the community. It tells their story, and it immediately lets you know if the town is thriving or struggling. No doubt, it can sure give you a glance into their past. I love downtowns. Speaking of loves, I love a downtown mural, and we found a couple down here. Check this one out. This one is called Yukon Sunset. The colors on this were so vibrant. Y'all, the colors are not pumped up at all. These are straight out of the camera, and the images were just sensational. This has to be one of the prettiest downtown murals I have ever seen, and we see a lot on our travels. This one features their state bird, the scissor-tail flycatcher. We were lucky enough to see one of those in person on our trip. You'll also see the monarch butterfly. This one is located at the east side of the Yukon Main Street office building at 528 West Main Street. This one is absolutely stunning to see. Just outside of town a few miles, you will find the Express Clydesdale Ranch. So we drove out for a visit. We were disappointed though when we got there to find out it was not open. Instead, you have to book a free tour ahead of time. Wish we'd have known that beforehand, so hopefully you've got a little bit of a hint. However, we did get some pictures of the beautiful Clydesdales that were standing outside as we arrived. This is probably a really cool place to visit if you can plan your trip ahead. Once you leave the ranch, just down the road a little bit, we happened upon this place we had no idea about, wasn't in our books, so we stopped to learn a little bit more and take a few pictures. This is a commemoration of Robert A. Bob Funk, the owner of Express Employment Professionals and the Express Ranch. Also located at this site is a marker for the Chisholm Trail. Now, I'm going to tell you, I can vaguely remember something about the trail, but not much. So I had to dig a little deeper to remind myself exactly what that was about. So here's a little history for you. Texas ranchers using the Chisholm Trail had their cowboys start cattle drives from either the Rio Grande area or San Antonio. They joined this trail at the Red River at the border between Texas and the Oklahoma Territory. They continued north on the trail ahead at the Kansas Pacific Railway in Kansas, where the cattle would then be sold and shipped eastward. This trail is named after Jesse Chisholm, a multiracial trader from Tennessee who was half Cherokee descent. Together with Scout Black Beaver, he developed the trail to transport his goods from one trading post to another. The two men were the first to drive cattle north along this route. The picture here shows just how hard and dangerous it was to cross less than a mile from this very spot. A drover recalls losing 116 head of cattle and 3 horses on this one single trip. About 20 minutes and 15 miles down the road is Reno, Oklahoma. This is about 25 miles west of Oklahoma City, and the town has all kinds of Route 66 fun, from things you might expect to some prizes. There's a great little downtown area with a small town feel, a wonderful Route 66 park, old buildings, murals, route markers, and there is even a fort. We spent about an hour and a half here in Reno alone. Next up would be Fort Reno. We spent about 20 minutes in Fort Reno, and we were the only people around. It was closed during our visit as far as the visitor center, but you can still walk and drive around. Though we were not able to enter the buildings because it was closed at our visit, we still had a great time. You can pretty much drive up to everything. There are great markers for all the buildings, and it's a very easy place to get out and walk around, being flat with asphalt. This is also a very good place for anyone with mobility issues.